That's what we're building. So, that should be fine. Clean up a little bit of mess and then line up what I'm doing. Alright, this is what I'm building. I'll kind of get a picture of it in a second. Line these up. I'll have to grab a few tools, so y'all just have to hang out. Gotta do a bit of cleanup. Wasn't really prepped. I figured I might as well share a few things. Let's get some bench space freed up real quick. It's a bit of a mess over here. Just so y'all know, that's what we're going to be playing with in just a second. What's up? Happy Father's Day. I already did my my thing with the family a little bit earlier today. Got back to work. Alright. Got a lot of stuff to do and not a bunch of time to do it. That was for another project. Y'all get to see a little bit more of it here in just a few seconds. I just gotta get my bench space cleared up because can't do no work, can't move. Yeah, I planned on cleaning up before I did it, but I figured I figured this is what I have to do all the time, so might as well. Pretty much part of working. Alright. So first one up. Here it comes. So what I do from here is I gotta get a bit set, a drill. And my drill's over here. With the rain slowed us down from some outside work, so now we got to do some inside work. Yeah. Right when you start to work, the bit set that you set aside, yeah, fine. Alright. Want y'all kind of see what's going on. There's a bit to it that I guess if y'all want to hang out, I can hang out for it. If y'all want to just see what I'm doing here, y'all see what I'm doing here. That's kind of all we can do with that. And that's the piece I needed. I was looking for that. In case y'all didn't know, I don't really mention much about what I'm doing and my work schedule. Let me just go ahead and kick that down real quick. A little bit quieter. I don't really mention much about my work schedule and what I'm doing or anything like that. Just because, I mean, I usually got it all handled, but so y'all are aware. The reason I have 4 benches is because I do multiple different things. usually during the weeknights, a lot of times, is when you'll see me build coax and 4-aught wire and stuff like that. On the weekends, this is a dedicated job to do crazy things that I get to have fun with, and you guys get to see. It's kind of an assortment of stuff on Saturday, Friday and Saturday. Saturday and Sunday. I was busy yesterday, so I really couldn't do much as far as sharing, just because it's just a bunch of outside work. Did get some stuff done. I'll leave it up to the person I did it for to kind of show y'all. So, waving, happy Father's Day. But I'll leave it up to that person that I'm building it for to share. That's kind of their thing. I just show y'all the build process just because I can. It is what it is. Maybe some of you guys might kind of see what I'm putting together now, but other guys it might take a bit. So I'll let y'all keep looking and watching on as I'm working. Just so you know, that's not a water pipe or an element. So, all right. So going from here, set over here. Huh. Oh, anybody ever wondered what it takes to check an EIA flange? EIA, check. You can get a Bird QC for PL259 from there, but that's how you check from EIA flange down to your regular meter connection, which is PL259. I'll do what my wife said to do. Let y'all see this crap. Whatever, focuses. But that's an EIA. Alright, so back to work. That was there, so I figured I'd share. Alright, so move this over, get my bit set, and figure out what size pieces are. Oh, too long. Let's see. We'll give it a shot. So from here, we'll just change to a regular bit. If this don't work, I got plenty other things to do as far as this idea. This is just a plan to secure this in a specific position. I had a measuring tape about 30 seconds ago, and now it's here. Alright, so pretty much right. Yeah, that's pretty late. That's close enough. Close enough for me. Alright, so this is not precise. It is absolutely just, it will do a very simple task. Alright, so let's see if I can slightly go up. So my issue is going to come into play with this is that once I put it, screw it in, it's going to have play. So what I'm going to have to do is go a regular bit. So I've got plenty of those, so really not much trouble for me. Just got to find them. A drawer full of everything. Not quite what I needed. If y'all want to know what this is, I'll tell you in just a second. This is a support. There's multiple different ways to build that. You can do non-inductive or basically just nothing. Maybe that. You just want to use non-conductive wire or non-conductive material. It doesn't matter what it is. In this situation, it's going to be fiberglass. It's a specific type of fiberglass. I mean, you can kind of get into that if you want to, but not quite what I needed. Let's see what I can do over here. How long are you? So what I'm doing there, basically just threading that piece where this doesn't move. This sleeve's inside here. This is a support. This is a clamp. This clamp will clamp onto a 3-inch boom and kind of do something fun. Nobody really has to do this, especially when you get your little small setups. There's not really much need, but there are situations where you need it. This is going to be like a fly wire support, so y'all can maybe, if y'all want, build your own. Don't like fiberglass. Alright, so taking this piece right here off, piece right here, and where's the rest of my other pieces? They got moved. Alright, so yeah. Alright, so I gotta find my junk. What I do, I'll be able to continue properly. Alright, so the next piece is on here. I'll be back. Well, the parts are MIA, so I'll have to kind of move on to the next one. I'm going to just watch that part. Whatever. Is what it is. Alright. So, oh, close. It's already good. Almost. Ta-da! Yes. So, if any of you have ever worked on anything to do with base stuff, this has to do with that. This is for a base antenna. It's just some additional setup because when you go something larger, you got to support it and got to handle that. Alright, this is part of that process. Alright, let's go to, essentially all I did a while ago was just pre-drill and tap. I'll just go ahead and drill and tap, since that's what I did a while ago anyway. Alright, so in case any of you don't know, and I will mention this many times, I absolutely despise fiberglass. If any of you have ever had fiberglass in your hands, you would know why. If you haven't, and it's never happened to you, you are the luckiest person alive. Because that stuff sucks. Alright. If I need to, I'll tap it out to the larger. A lot of times I'll go 5/32 for this, and I probably will on that one because that's a little bigger. Yeah, definitely 5/32. This may or may not be interesting to some. I don't really know. I mean, I do. No! I lost it. So what I'm doing is just tying this in place. So it really doesn't matter if it comes loose. So it's not really a big deal. I'm not going to be moving these. I decided already previously that I'm not going to need to because I've already measured my spacing. So it really doesn't matter as long as it's doing its job, keeping lateral movement. What I should have did in that situation is just tapped a little bit further, and it wouldn't have broke on me. But you can kind of hear how when my drill's binding like that, it's gonna happen. But whatever. It's really not that big of a concern for me because it kind of is doing the job either way. It don't make no difference. But I need to get this. There you go. That out of there. So on to the next one. Here we go. So now I know what size I want to go with and what material I want to use. Alright, so here we go. Next. I would be doing another part of it, but I'll have to find the pieces, and I don't really care to look for them just yet. I want to go ahead and at least get this part underway. This is not, I mean, medical grade precision that we're trying to be going for. This is just enough precision to hold this item somewhat centered. That's the goal. And it doesn't really matter once I put tension on it. Once I put tension on it, it's not going to move anyway. But, I mean, this is kind of really for me and working with it. I've got to set it up, line it up, get it set up where I want to put it, and I don't really want it moving in that meantime. So that's really why I'm doing this. There's no other real need for it, because once it's got tension, like I said, it won't matter. And we'll literally on set. Moved to a weaker setting. I moved to the weakest setting on my drill. Setting 1, and it still broke. What happens is when you lose speed with a drill, and it starts going into the hammer mode, these little zinc bolts will break. Again, like I said earlier, it really doesn't matter if they break on me, because all I'm doing is just stopping lateral movement. It doesn't need to slide this way, up and down. And as long as I got something in there holding from here to here, that's really all that matters. And then once I put stress on it, it will stay still regardless. So kind of annoying, but it's just that's what happens whenever you're trying to deal with FRP. It's kind of fun anyway. So any means that you can get to make it work. I think I'll just clear them all because it looks nice and sheer. I like that. So I may actually just do that on all of these, since, I mean, it really doesn't matter, but might as well. Alright, so let's line this up. If y'all were to copy me in a scenario like this, you really don't have to have this middle piece of metal. This middle piece of metal was really for me to shim it and design and come up with a design for where I want to place it on the actual boom. So it doesn't really matter if it's in any particular position. You could actually take these clamps and run straight to this rod and set it in the right position. But me, I like the ability to slide and move and then come up with a design and then run straight in. That's why I did that. I mean, I went out and I've already run my tests, I've already run my spacing, and I know where I want to be. So I've kind of got that part finished. So now I'm done with that. I'm just going to do the same thing as you guys would do, and that's just clamp her in place. Doesn't really matter from here, as long as I got within about a half an inch or so of where I need to be. Really more like an eighth. I'm kind of a little bit more picky than that. As long as I'm within about an eighth of where I need to be, I'm fine. And again, like I said, it's going on something that's a lot longer than, I mean, it's almost 50 foot long, so we're talking about 40 something foot. So an 8 is not really much of a concern for me, because what this is a non-critical setup. Now, whenever you're talking about other things to do with the same thing, then it's a lot more critical. So I wouldn't be saying that. I'd be going down to about a 64th. Again, it's probably going to shear, but I really don't care. Like I said, all I need it to do is stay in place. I may shear the first one that didn't shear on me. Because I'm particular, and if one thing's done one way, I'd like to do the rest of them the same way. Another thing that might have held me up that caused the same problem is this. Because whenever you're packing down material, if you're just, I've noticed it in other applications when you're running threads. If you put a bunch of dirt in your threads, what's going to happen is the thread, especially with threads without a bottom, with a bottom, all that dirt will just pack and pack and pack and pack, and as it packs, as you tighten up, where your screw would normally go down further, it won't. And you got to tighten it up the rest of the way, and it just breaks. This may just be because this material is pretty stout, but I'm kind of curious. I'm running a test here. If it breaks, it doesn't matter. Nope, it breaks. That's FRP for you. But so it's not really the same here. Yeah, I'm just building something. This is nothing crazy, so I kind of share with you guys. I shook my bench a little too much. This is, whatever. I'll put you guys down here. Maybe y'all can see it still. Alright, whatever. Y'all won't be able to see it as well, but it'll work. Y'all won't be falling all the time. See, it's sheared right here, so what I'm going to do is take the first one and go ahead and shear it. That way all of them look the same, and it'll be a flush mount. And with it being flush mount, it actually looks pretty good. So I'll show y'all what it looks like in the end. There we go. Got that one. So make sure this doesn't move. All right. All right. See, it looks like a little pin right there, and all it does is just holds it in place. That's all that matters. All right. So I'll get kind of what's happening. See this clamp right here. See the support. I've got some that's about 8 foot long, and these are the metal ones. Where they're going is on an antenna. So that's for you guys. But hung out long enough trying to figure out what I was doing. That's what I'm doing. I've got to collect a little bit more material. I've got to find it. It's in one of these things. Well, need that. Not that bag. Next, another clamp. This is gonna fall in a minute. We'll see. Alright, more screws. More goodies. Clamps. All this stuff. Some of this stuff I already had. Some of the stuff I'm collecting for the job. I already had prepped here. The other stuff I had to go pick up. But it's constantly a run for tools when you're doing stuff like this. What I'm working with is Filastrand, so I've got to make sure I use the right clamps that I want to use. Ah, that's what I needed. So all of these right here will go into a box. I gotta pull my other goodies out of this box. Heat shrink. Ta-da! Whatever. Let's see if it shows. bunch of these. I think I know where I'm gonna put this. Up here. All right. Huh? One of those. All right. So all this stuff goes in this box. See if I can fit it. We'll see what happens. Okay, so here we go to the next step after I figure out where to lay this. Alright, next step's this right here. This. I've already got some prep from before. Left to do. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's see how 4 of them go together. So I've got to find another bit set since I got a few bits missing out of here. Let's see if I've got them down here. I may. 1, 2, 3. There we go. 7/32 here. Back over there. 3/8. 5/16. The only thing I'm missing is my quarter. My quarter always goes missing. Alright, so from here, we're going to go check and see what size I'm going to use. I've got a box full of these right down here. Oh, no. Yeah. Not what I needed. That's my fender washers. 16, 8. Aha! Isn't that daggum something? Let's see if y'all can read this. Y'all can't because it's backwards, but whatever. This says 5/16 by 1.5 inch, right? This says 5/16 by 18 by 1.5 inch. One is fender washers. And the other is bolts. Oh Lord. Got to pay attention to the details. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and prep. 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. It's about 3/8 by 16. Put that over there. Alright. 6, 7. Alright. It's going to be 1/2 inch, so might as well prep. It's not there. Maybe it's in here. Yes. There's my 1/2 inch. So. If you don't have one, this is the neatest little tool ever right here. This is not your standard DeWalt or Ryobi rigid, whatever the heck it is, little drill adapter. This is a regular drill adapter. You put your bit on, put your piece on. When you put it on, you pull it off. You go up underneath something, you pull on it, and there you go. All of a sudden, you go dig in, you have to reach inside a box or whatever. now it gets real. I'm showing you for an example. I dropped it in the box on purpose, and now I gotta really dig for it. Think about doing this, working on a car, working on anything. Whatever you're doing. Oh, I fell inside this. So, that's the exact reason I bought this. So, lock this on. Can't just pull it off. Well, it's not foolproof. When you go forward and back, it will. But you can jerk on that and try pulling as hard as you want. You can. You pull this action back right here. Pull it off. It's actually got a lock like your 3/8 bits do. Just like when you have a 3/8 ratchet, you push the little button and it lets go. This has got a little slide release. Get that. If you use any sort of drill for any length of time, this stuff saves you 90% of the time. But you can see I can defeat the system just by working with it a lot like that. So you can't really be rough with it, but I mean, it's better than losing it every single time with one of these. So that's my little word of advice for tools for the day. Go buy one of those. They're fun to find too, so just fair warning. Alright, so now in a situation like this, you got to kind of watch what you're doing. So just watch that the drill doesn't run away from you or anything like that. So I can put it on something and kind of keep it from running away. So what I'm going to do is try to do this. Maybe it's 4 foot long, so a little bit longer than what I need, but whatever. So see if I can hold it in place with this. I really want to hold it over top of my desk so I can let this fiberglass just sit in here. I may have to do a little pre-drilled hole. So what I'll do is go a small bit, pre-drill here. Oh, hang on a second. I about did something stupid. So you guys that are watching, you'll see what I'm doing. I gotta go to 3/8 because this is what I want to use. Worst case scenario, I'll add a washer if I need to. But let me not get ahead of myself. I wanted to show y'all something, but I'll show y'all that next. I would have had to drill twice, and that would have really messed with me doing that. So I can go to the inside of this cap. It really doesn't matter. Just pull the cap off, go to the inside, center it. Cool thing about drilling this way is until I go all the way through, I have a perfect little catch for all my shavings. So just dump them in there. This is absolutely not going to be perfect. I am not a machinist for a living, so any of you guys who are machinists are watching me and you complain about how my hole is not perfectly centered, I am OCD, but I'm not that OCD. Shavings again, so I don't have to deal with those being everywhere. That is not centered by any means, but I am not, like I said, I'm not going to be that particular on something. Being built for support. What you would want to do in a situation like this is have a drill press, hold it in place, tie it in, line it up where it's centered, build a little, and if you're not building enough of them, build a jig. You build a jig to hold it in place, drill in it, and there you go. What I'm doing, I mean, it's really not that kind of situation, so it's not critical. I'm the one building it, I'm the one that's setting it up, I'm the one making it for this specific application, so it's really up to me how I do it. I got some more somewhere, but this is just kind of a mock-up, I guess, per se. This is not going to be here. I'm just kind of doing it to show y'all. Let's just do a short one. There's going to be something else up here. What it's going to be is an eyelet. I can get a straight eyelet, or I can get an eyelet that tightens on the threads, but it doesn't really matter. But this is the concept. This goes on here. This ties on here, and there you go. You got an insulated eyelet to attach to for support. So from here, that's kind of got me mocked up. I didn't actually completely screw up, because there is, well, no, I did. I would have actually in that situation. So this is kind of to simulate the piece, the length of the piece that I'm going to be using. I wanted to show you all that, but I'm going to be using it a different way, because my threads are about 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going with that in mind. I'm putting a lock washer. No, let's do a 1 inch on the money. So I'm going to put a lock washer in line, and that should put me 100. So, well, let's just do threads. Not 3/4 of the threads. So I'm pretty positive I didn't use a lock washer on the other one. So this is kind of what I'm going to do here. I'm going to hold this in place. I can't thread it on this way, so I got to pull this off. This is only for a mock-up, because like I said, there's going to be an eyelet here. The eyelets are not here today, so I've got to do this because I need to prep as much as possible, so I'm not having to double work and triple work. I'll just mock this up where I'm not having to twiddle my thumbs today and work more later. So I'm just doing all my work today, so I don't have to twiddle my thumbs later. Or excuse me, so I don't have to twiddle my thumbs today. Alright, so you can kind of see where the problem comes in. 3/4 threads, just a little 3/4 cap. It won't work, so that's why I do this. It's not blowing up nothing, we just working on some fun. I don't think I've done much blowing up. I do the fixing after it's blowing up. That's what I kind of do, for the most part. There are situations where I do my own blowing up, but not too often. Alright, so this has got this mocked up to where I need it to be. All I'm going to do is just pre-drill with something so I don't lose my center. See what happens, see if my little pre-drill does work. Hopefully it will, so I don't have to get a punch. Yeah, boy. And whenever you do something that doesn't really start well, what I'll do is try to walk on you. Thank you, Jesus. Should have just kept on going. And make sure you keep your arm clear. Always, always, always keep yourself clear of a drill bit, because it can tear you up in a heartbeat. Maybe it tells me this is terrible for my bits. I know already, so don't worry about it. There's speeds you go with drill bits. There's things you do and things you don't do. I just buy the bits. Like I said, I'm not a machinist. I'll work with my tools. If my tools get messed up, then I'll buy more tools. Probably a bad philosophy, but I try to take somewhat of care of my tools. But if it comes down to it's going to take me much longer versus I can get it done quickly, then I'm going to pick the quicker option. If it involves a little bit more wear and tear on my tools, then so be it. Because most of my jobs have a time limit, so just so you know, this is not one of those things I can do in my spare time. I've got a limited amount of time to work. So if one of you copies me and runs super high speed on some super expensive drill bit, it is not my fault that you wore your bit down early. So follow the manufacturer's specifications for any of your tools, unless you just want to be buying more tools than you should. So, alright, from here. Oh no! That's why I built it. That's why I got this table built, but because it's literally a protector. I'm using FRP or GO8, what the heck, whatever it's called. I'm gonna tell you guys this because I'm kind of particular myself. I want to say this correctly. Well, okay. Sorry guys. Alright, so you've got multiple different types of fiberglass. This is FRP, fiberglass reinforced plastic. This is used in a lot of situations in high voltage transformers. You can use it to make a Jesus stick. You can use it for multiple different applications. It doesn't have as good of isolation or let's check right here. Oh Lord, some may take a while. Whatever. Alright, so while I'm waiting on that to load. Alright, so GPO3 fiberglass is what this is right here. This right here is FRP fiberglass reinforced plastic. GPO3 is used in high voltage transformers. FRP is also used in high voltage transformers. Depends on what you're doing and what application on which one works better. This red is used a lot of times in big contactors, knife switches, and things like that. Also used in isolation between phases of a three-phase switch and things like that. Alright, so going back to what I'm doing. So that was my little tangent. You hear people call it G8, G whatever, a million different names. It's called GPO3 fiberglass. That's what the name is. It's been bugging me for a while. Whenever I see that, I don't really go about correcting people. Just because, one, I don't want to make them feel belittled, and two, I don't have the time to go out there and look over and over. So I was thinking about it, so I figured I'd show you guys, or tell you guys. Might as well. I'm doing low speed now, not because of the drill bit, but because I don't want the shavings everywhere. So. When you're using a drill, be careful not to let it bind too much, because when you hear that hammer drill function, it's really rough on the bits. Even though these bits have a quick change, they're not necessarily designed for the hammer function. So what I did right there, when you heard that hammer function, I put my drill in reverse. So it's less likely to break, less likely to catch on the ream of the seal. And it still cleans the threads just fine, and has not, in my situation, seemed like it dulled my bits at all. So that's kind of my little cheat. Don't know if it's a cheat or if I'm just tricking myself. so clogged, all this fiberglass. I need to clean the filter now. Alright. There it is, hiding from me. Alright, here comes the fun. Yay. I should probably leave this. Y'all don't have to listen to this for a second, but I won't have to deal with it as much. Maybe, if this works, maybe I'll be successful. We will see. Vacuum, don't do that. You'll suck up a perfectly good lock washer and have to dig it out. Alright, so here it goes. This goes right through from one side to the other. If I went a 1/2 inch shorter, the only problem is I wouldn't end up being able to get enough threads on my bolt for me to be happy. This is a hair longer than I want it to be, but I'm not going to go in 1/8 inch increments just because I'm picky. I'm going to go with what the store has available, and you'll see why I'm saying 1/8 inch increments in just a second. I should leave this right here. And there's my 1/2 inch. Oh Lord, no! If I'm at work, it's going to be this is not perfect by any means. It still moves, but all I'm doing is just holding the cap in place. It doesn't really matter how tight or anything like that it is. So just so you guys know, if y'all see some movement in this, it's on purpose. It's because that's not what it's doing. Most used bit I use is probably either a 10mm or a 7/16. So if you see on any automotive shop those little picture memes, talks about their 10mm bit that they lost. That happens with me all the time. I've went through probably, as far as regular sockets, I went through that probably 10 times more than any other socket. Now drill bits, I use a lot of times at work. I'll use an 1/8, 9/64, and a 5/32. 1/8 is probably the most used one I use. Outside, I'll use a 1/2 inch a lot. So, I mean, there's lots of different applications. I mean, I use drill bits for all sorts of stuff at work. Here, I don't know, all different sizes. I think I see him. I don't know if you're still hanging out or not, Hound Dog. But waving a hand, man. Catch you later. If you already left, then I'll catch you later and talk to you. Down here, make sure I didn't ignore anybody. Yeah, copy the room's a disaster too. That's a while back earlier. He might have already left by now, but I always miss comments. I mean, it just happens, especially when you're working like this. You can't kind of keep up with everything. Unfortunately, I'd like to respond to everybody. I see people I miss all the time and don't want them to feel like I'm being a jerk or anything. It's just while I'm working, it's kind of tough to get to respond to everybody. Alright, again, like I said earlier, it absolutely does not matter how centered this piece is. If I could convince this customer to buy a drill press just for this job, then I absolutely would, but I'm sure that customer would laugh at me and tell me no. So, I mean, they're already getting enough material as is, so it is what it is. Gotta work with what you got. As soon as I start throwing shavings out of the cup, then I just go ahead and open it up, and dump it. I gotta be careful because when you're working with a cap, I mean, without holding it up, without doing anything but holding it, you got to be careful for kickback whenever the hammer drill kicks in. I could use a drill bit, but then it would do the same thing. It'll kick over on me. Believe it or not, a hammer drill has less kickback than a regular drill, and that's why I use it more, and also because it's sitting there right in front of me, so I might as well just use it instead of digging around for a regular drill. Again, if I was doing like a lot of 100 of these or something like that, rather than doing like 10 or 15 or something like I am, then I would go ahead and bring a drill press or buy a drill press for this specific job. But it's just really not necessary for what I'm doing. There is a bit more risk, so if you're going to be doing it personally and you're not too handy with a drill, absolutely buy a drill press, because I mean that's going to save your butt from getting a nice little gash on your hand from getting cut by a drill bit. So be careful. It's just one of those things where you gotta do it at your own risk. It's your decision whether or not you do something like that. I didn't mention to anybody, I guess it's not still be in here, anybody who's kind of came in late on this, what I'm doing is building a cap for a FRP rod, and that FRP rod is acting, I'm putting an eyelet on the end of it. I do not have my eyelets, so I'm prepping everything but my eyelets now. This goes over, this goes on here. It won't cap on here, so I use this thread to extend it long enough for me to be able to attach it. Ideally, if I had something metal, I would just tap this right here, don't even have a cap, and just put an eyelet on the end of it. This is not metal, so you just have to kind of roll with it and do whatever you're going to do. I could get a threading tool and just buy a regular pipe and make my own as far as this, instead of buying little adapters like I did, and then I could have smooth metal here rather than threads here. But the problem is this is only $1.60 for the threads, so it really, the means doesn't, the cost doesn't justify what I'm doing. So and there's a million and one ways to do this. I could have used like a regular tube with a thread, like an no, I couldn't use EMT, it wouldn't be strong enough, but I could use like Schedule 40 regular pipe rather than this black water that I'm doing. This is black water pipe, you can get it at Home Depot, whatever, and this is a coupler and a cap. So get whatever material you want, work with it however you want. You can, all the whole goal is to put a cap and a bolt, so you can do it in any which way you want. So, alright, so next is going back and tapping this, and then or pre-drilling with a small drill bit, and then going to a big one. The threads will walk on me, so and it really doesn't matter if I damage these threads. So another reason a drill press would come in handy. See, once I set this flat on a nice flat surface and push this flat right here, and I started drilling into it, it went perfectly. So just so you guys are aware, that's a little trick that you can use if you don't have a drill bit. So set something on a flat surface, set your drill on a flat surface, not, of course, not on the trigger, and then there you go. You got your homemade drill press right there. But then again, the bottom of the drill press is your hand, so be careful. Now again, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of my bits are probably dull because of what I do and the speeds that I run them, so don't copy me, just get something else. Or take a little bit longer than I do and do it slow, like a slow speed like this. if you look on most any drill bit set, or I'd say almost the whole saw sets, they'll tell you a recommended RPM for the application and the material being cut. So you can kind of find a chart like that somewhere and then follow those specs and save your drill bit. But alright, so now from here I'm going to get another one. Well, actually, let's just go ahead and do the other end of this one. So I'll get this one right here. Now I want to keep my hand as far away from that stuff as possible. I absolutely hate this material. I'm drilling this out bigger, so it doesn't matter. So, alright. Somebody would come up with a material that doesn't have glass in it that we can use for our setups, because it would be really nice not to have to deal with fiberglass or fiberglass reinforced items, personally at least. So, waving a hand, whoever else is in here that hadn't been following, this is a support structure that I'm building to help a beam. So you can kind of copy, you can build, you can do whatever the heck you want to do. Don't make no difference to me. Anything like this is always labor intensive, so you just be prepared. Yeah, my vacuum's getting pretty weak. Alright, so... oh, there we go. Cool. Alright, so I guess I'll show y'all a completed one. And then, well, mostly complete. By any means, because I've got to get the eyelet for up top. But here's the concept: cap, eyelet, so it'll be a ring up top, I guess. Haha. I'm not stupid like that. I'm just showing y'all this. All right, so ring on the side, ring on that side. That reminded me of a game we played when we were kids. Oh god. Alright, so I got more to do. I got more clamps to line up. So I'll probably just line up a few clamps. This is the reason I'm lining the clamps up is so I don't have to line them up later. Nobody wants to be on a job and have to realign everything out in the heat. So you want to have everything as close to done as possible, because then you don't have to do it over and over again. So this is a well. Right, cool. So I've got to get my other bit real quick, and that is hiding right over here. There we go. So my core material I'm working with, my drill I left up high on accident. When you get a strong enough drill, you'll have to make sure you turn it down because it'll break your small bits if you're not careful. So some people are all about getting the most powerful equipment out there. Go brushless, go this, go that. Depends on what you're using. I mean, if you're working with small material, you're just going to break your small stuff all the time. Now, the reason I broke that other stuff earlier, if any of you guys have been following for a long period of time, it's because of the material I'm using, not because of my drill, and also because of my method. I should have, if I was really kind of wanting to make it work and work very well, what I would have did is you can thread FRP. So I would have threaded it at that point, and then it would have just screwed right in. But not really interested in that. It's just keeping my lateral movement from going up and down. This is the next one. Alright, so one more to do before I line my pieces up, and I gotta put caps on them. Whenever you're doing a lot of these, it's very repetitive and boring, so good thing I finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them before y'all even saw. So those are already completed and installed. These are going sometime later this week, and then I'll probably run some more infrastructure later. So this is not like my coax builds. This is not a single part series. I guess a few of my coax builds take 2 times. Like that 7/8, I'm gonna probably have to. I gotta find some braid for it. I gotta get some wider braid. The only braid I've got some 1/2 inch, and then I'll go back on it with those LC connectors. But before that, I've got a 4-aught build. Y'all probably see tomorrow. It's gonna be 4-aught part 3. So I'll be finishing the last of the 4-aught, hopefully, in that series. 4-aught's not easy to build. It takes time. I mean, it's all, and I have a limited amount of time to give, so I have to work within that parameter. So, because oh, and there's a locking adapter for your regular bits too. DeWalt and Milwaukee and a few others are finally starting to put the locking rings on them like they should. If you look at any decent drill or drill bit, it'll have an indention. Say, see if it'll focus. Not on my fingers, on the drill. See if I can tap that. Maybe. Whatever. But needless to say, it's got a little ridge. And that tiny little ridge is so a locking ring can attach to it. So if you get the right bit, it'll have a little locking ring on it, and you can't pull it off unless you push the locking ring back. So those exist for regular bits too. Not really as necessary when you get a really strong magnet on one, but I mean, some people don't know that. I deal with experts all the way down to complete novice individuals. So I explain that stuff just because there's people who just don't know this stuff. If you've known it for 10 years, all power to you, but I'm not telling you, I'm telling the guy who has never picked up a wrench in his life and is thinking about it and wants to know what kind of tools to get. Alright. The reason I'm putting these on here is just to guide this as a guide for whenever I tighten this up so it's lined up in the right position. And there you go. I tried to hold on to my bit, but my little adapter saved me. So there you go. Alright, so that one's done. I've got more to do, more to rewire, but I think I might move on to another project and leave this to another guy who's going to be helping me. I got to give him a list of things to do, and that will be on that list. So he's just going to do exactly what I did here, and put caps and put an eyelet on there. The eyelet's not here, so I'll have to get the eyelet for him, and you can kind of see it's just a little bolt on the inside. So it's something with 3/4 thread length that puts an eyelet on the end that's got an insulated connection from here up to here. So allows me to build something for support structure. Not building a quad, so if somebody looked into that, like, oh, he's building a quad for a different meter. No, not building a quad. So, just so you know, it's far less important than that, but it's important nonetheless. It has its purpose, it has its need. All right, so I'm just gonna vacuum this and clean this up a bit. Building stuff all the time and constantly doing stuff, so if I can think of anything else that's somewhat share worthy that I can sit in one place and do, then I will hop back on here and show you guys. I'm probably gonna, like I said, stop on that project. There's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to do, so I got 6 more of these to put together, drill the side, drill through, bolt on, and so on and so forth. But I mean, that is what it is. It's got to be done. Like I said, I don't even have my eyelets, so I'm gonna put that on a list, a to-do list. I've got other things I've got to do. I can't really share that, so there's not really much to show y'all. I've got some other cool things coming soon, I suppose. I guess probably the 4-aught build tomorrow is what most of you guys will be interested in. So as long as everything goes well tomorrow and I don't get stuck super late at work, then what I'm going to do is probably finish up, do a 4-aught part 3, part 4, whatever the heck number I'm on, and try to finish up the last of that 4-aught. I can show y'all some cool little knickknacks. There's something interesting right there. Alright, well, I will catch y'all later. I've got more work to do, and I'm going to be jumping and moving all around, so there's not much to watch. See you guys later. Y'all have a good weekend, and happy Father's Day.